Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Coffee Break. This is Dr. Michele Alignay. Magandang tanghali, magandang hapon, magandang gabi, magandang buhay sa ating lahat. This afternoon, it's going to be very interesting. And before I start, I would like to ask you, do you encounter challenges, changes, and conflicts in your relationship? Ulitin ko, do you encounter challenges, changes, and even conflicts in your relationship? So, bakit anong connection niyan, Doc? Your topic, you said it's about pandemic-proof relationships. But what about challenges? What about conflicts? What about the changes? What does it have to do with pandemic-proofing our relationships? If the other day we talk about pandemic proof relationships and what are the things that we're not supposed to have in a relationship, ano yung hindi kailangan, ano yung hindi nakakatulong, this afternoon, we're going to talk about ano yung essential, ano yung dapat meron sa relasyon, especially with our marriage relationship, and it can be applied even to our family relationship. So magandang hapon. This is again Dr. Michele Alignay for Coffee Break. So let me know if you're here, my friends from all over the Philippines, and even some of you are abroad. Hi, Binkai. It's nice to have you here. Okay, let me repeat that question. Let's go over the three C's that I made you reflect about. So that is about changes. So what are the changes that happened to you? Diba? Tuloy-tuloy naman yan eh. Tuloy-tuloy na nangyayari ang changes sa relasyon. And challenges, I realized that hindi mauubos yung challenges. Kahit maliit, kahit na malaki. But the more that we have changes and challenges in the relationship, and then the more conflicts actually happen. Did you realize that? Nagkakaroon ng conflict in a relationship because it's part of life. It's part of relationships. It's part of a marriage. So, mahirap sabihin na, ay sana wala na akong problema sa relasyon. Sana hindi na kami mag-away. Sana mawala na kami ng challenge. You know what? If that happens, if mawalan na ng conflict, mawalan na ng challenge, at mawalan na ng changes relasyon, we will never grow. And we will never be able to be fulfilled in our relationship kung sabihin natin na wala na lang, because there's no way to test, no way to move, and no, we will just be stuck, right? So if you are married, can you just tell me if you're married? Can you just press heart or press like or just say I am married? Just because I would like you to see the essential qualities of partners, mag-asawa. Pero alam nyo, this can be applicable also to family. So what are the essential relationships? What are the essential qualities of, I'll talk to you about the essential qualities of partners to pandemic proof our relationship, meaning if we have this, if we try to work on this, chances are pandemic and beyond, we can maintain or we can try our best to have better relationships, a better marriage, if that makes sense to you. So, uh, this points that I'm going to share with you, it's an article by it's an article that I took in 5 essential qualities of a partner from Psychology Today. So that's my source. I adapted it and then we will tweak a bit, but then these are results of studies that are tested and have been found out that ito yung mga qualities na dapat meron. And I see it's really universal. So it means that no matter what culture, no matter what circumstances, if we are married young, if you're married older, and in the middle of our marriage career or our family life, we can still apply this quality. So the first one, are you with me? The first one is kindness, loyalty, and understanding. Do you believe that? So the first quality na dapat magkakasama, kindness, loyalty, and understanding. So hindi lang pwedeng kind ka lang pero there's no loyalty. Hindi rin pwedeng loyal ka lang but there's no understanding, and then there's no kindness. And hindi lang pwedeng mabait naman, 'di ba, you've heard of that? Na, mabait ba yung boyfriend mo? Mabait naman siya. Mabait naman siya. So, understanding naman siya, naiintindihan naman niya ako, iniintindi niya ako lagi. But, does it end with that? But, okay lang ba sa atin na he's very kind and understanding, but there's no loyalty? That's a different story altogether. So, the first thing that partners and even in the family, we should be able to encourage our children is kindness, loyalty, and understanding. It's very crucial. So here, when you try to look at it, I'm not talking about looks, I'm not talking about status, and I'm not talking about the kilig, 'di ba? Tanungin natin tong friend natin na si Mia Bueno, 'di ba? Mahalaga ba yung 'di ba, in a relationship, yes, looks, status and excitement or the kilig, they are somehow important. But what if there's problem already? What if there's bigger concerns? Hindi ba? Saan magkakasukotan? Hindi madadaan sa gwapo, hindi madadaan sa status sa buhay, at hindi rin madadaan sa kilig or excitement in the relationship. It will all fail, especially if there's challenges and conflict. Because what will matter is the kindness, the understanding, and the loyalty of the couple to each other and fidelity to the family. Does that make sense? Do you agree with that, friends? Um, 'Di ba? One time, parang I was talking to someone and then said that, yes, you are undergoing a lot of pressure in the family, in the marriage, and then somebody commented, it's a good thing that there's no infidelity issue because I believe loyalty is supposed to be in place. Kaya eto na lang yung warning, if you are single and you're watching and you're considering marriage, this is the first thing that you should check. Okay na may looks, okay na mabait, okay na may status at mayroon excitement, but mind you, friends, if challenges and conflicts happen in a marriage, in the relationship, baliwala lahat ng looks, baliwala lahat ng status and excitement if there's no kindness, loyalty, and understanding. So that's the first one. For those of you who are married for a long time, can you share with me among these three points, kindness, loyalty, understanding, magkakasama yan, ano dito yung sa inyo pinakamahalaga? Magkakasama sila, but I would like to ask you, what among these three matters to you a lot? Okay? The second one, you might believe it or not, but it has been found out by studies that similarity or finding a common ground is very crucial for couples. That old saying, opposites attract. Gusto ko siya kasi parang hindi ako yan. So, gusto ko talaga siya. Opposites attract. It might sound good. It might sound pop. But in reality, isn't it that there's more struggle kung sobrang magkaiba kayo? But the similarity that I'm talking about here, it's the attitude and the values. You know, when I was doing my master's thesis, my master's is in family psychology. One of the areas that is crucial for couples, because my thesis is all about couples who recently got married. One of the important areas that they have is the similarity of values. So, people would ask, bakit niyo ba pinag-awayan yan? Given naman, yes. Pero baka sa kanya, iba yung priority that he gives to values about faith, at sa kanya, mas importante yung trabaho. So there's disparity there. And you come to think of it, if the similarity of the couple, it's not in place, pag hindi yan magkatugma, mas may struggle. There's more struggle if there's lack of similarity or the prioritization given to one aspect, one couple. Bakit yung iba okay lang sa kanila na okay lang? Bakit yung couple na yan, it's okay for them to spend, earn and spend, but not save? Maybe because there's no conflict with them, because for them, it's aligned. They like living in the moment. But why is it for some couples, nagiging struggle yung okay, religiosity. Somebody asked me before, but doc, what about it? My husband would not want to go to church, but I would still, of course, I would like as a family for us to go to church. And then that makes sense because I realized na, oh my, kaya pala maraming tao hindi nila hindi nila to makita kasi magkaiba yung prioritization given. Magkaiba ng level of priority. Magkaiba yung values. And values, we don't actually see it, but we feel it. And it manifests in the decisions, it manifests in the actions that we take. So you have to check that. Similar couples are actually studied to be happier. Do you agree with that? Pag mas marami kayong mga areas in your life that you are common with your partner, with even with your kids, even with friends, 'di ba? Ito yung sinasabi na birds of the same feather flock together. But then, because there's less fight and there's less conflict. Kumbaga, kung meron sa isang buwan, kung may kota tayo na 10 bagay na pagdidiskusyonan at pag-aawayan, kalahati na doon, na-shelve na natin kasi settled na. So there's synchronicity, and isn't it that it's nice to be in sync with the people. So similarity, whether you take it for granted or not, it's very important. It's very important. And I would like to ask you, what is, if you're married or if you are in a relationship, can you tell me what is that? Can you put that in the comments so we can learn from each other? What is it that you are similar with your partner? Ano yung isang bagay na you're very similar with your partner? I realize, I'm coming to reflect about this. What is it that my husband and I shared is that since we were singles, nagkakilala kami sa singles community. So lo and behold, one of the common things that's very important for us is serving the Lord together. So that is a value for us. That is a similarity, that's a way of life, and that's a value that we adhere to until now. Until now. So it's something that's very important for us. And if you see, if we lack that kind of adherence to a partner, yung similar ground, common ground, let's use the word common ground, it's going to be continuously crucial. I don't know if you've heard the past coffee break sessions, but uh, I asked you before, what is it that would make the couple stay together? What is it that what would save a marriage? What can save a marriage? Actually, it's that you enjoy doing something together, something fun that you enjoy together. And it's not just only an activity, but it has an inherent value. May value sa inyo. Yes, we like this. It's the values. It's not just doing an activity, but it's about that thing. Is it your spirituality? It's your commitment to your family. Is it something that, is it parang your passion to serve? Is it your passion to grow together as a couple? I don't know. It might be different for you, but it's going to be different for me. But I hope it's the same for your own family, lalo na sa asawa nyo. Because that is something that you can work on together. Does that make sense, friends? So let me know, what is it that you have similarities with your spouse? And I realize, just to add, I realize that one of the most crucial thing that we can be similar about is the similarity that we give to openness and communication. If we value communication, if you value the relationship the same way, and then it's going to be better. I've heard a lot of questions before. Bakit parang sa kanya wala lang, pero bakit sa akin importante? Because there's such thing as we value the relationship. Value yan. And when you value something, it's very important, it's very crucial for you. And you put even your heart, your soul, and a lot of effort to it. And I hope this makes sense to you. Okay, number three. Number three is quite technical, but let's call it conscientiousness. Conscientious. I don't know if you've heard of it, but conscientiousness, it's actually being reliable, being practical. A person, I remember, this is one of the traits that we check with kids. When I was a counselor, we give when I was a guidance counselor, There's such thing as personality tests that we give even to grade school students. Yeah. And one of the traits that's always measured is the conscientiousness. Conscientiousness ay hindi kung siya ba ay nakukonsensya. Conscientiousness, it's the reliability and the being practical of that person. He is rule bound, he is organized, and come to think of it, conscientiousness is actually being dependable and trustworthy. One of the hardest things to live with a partner or with a spouse, it's that lack of conscientiousness. Yung hindi mo alam, teka, uuwi ba siya? Ayan. Tatawag ba siya? Bakit minsan kung feel lang niyang tumawag, saka siya tatawag? It's so hard. And if this is a red flag already, if you're in a relationship and you can even not depend on the person for the little things, even just the mere fact of calling you or checking on you, if you have a date and sabi niya sa'yo, sige bahala na, laging bahala na si Batman. Friends, hindi talagang kasama si Batman. Hindi rin kasama si Superwoman sa relasyon. Dapat ang kasama si Lord. Pero wag niyo sabihin, bahala na si Lord. Conscientiousness, it's actually being dependable, trustworthy, and it's very important. If in a relationship, you can depend on each other, and then you're good. You're good because you know someone got your back. You can trust in this person kahit na magkaiba kayo, kahit na may ito honestly, kahit na you have conflicts, even if you have challenges in the middle of everything, being trustworthy and dependable, you don't say that, oh, he's so perfect that he can help me. He can help me. He got my back. He will take care of things for me. No, it's not that. But you know that there's this somebody who give you practical support and you also give you emotional support. That's conscientiousness. So, how conscientious are you bago nating tingnan ng ating mga asawa or ating mga partners or ating mga family members? I would like to ask your friends, if you can be open, can you grade yourself at a scale of 1 to 10? How conscientious are you in the most important relationship that you have? Are you a conscientious person? Because ako, parang that's one of my strengths. That's one of my traits. I'm very practical, I'm very organized, and I'm dependable and trustworthy when it comes to relationship. What about you? Because before we expect them to be consensuous, we need to be consensuous as well. So please grade yourself. If you can share with me your grade, that's between 0 to 10. Please put that in the comment section. I'm not going to judge you, but it just means that we can start working on it, and we can also discuss it with our partner. Na, hey, maybe this is something that we can work on together so we can grow because healthy couples are consensuous. Okay, so another thing. Number 4, this is crucial kasi hindi ito mema lang, emotional stability. There's such thing as EQ, and this is it. You don't look for someone in a very high EQ. You look for someone also with a with a very high IQ. You look for someone with a very good EQ, the emotional stability, the emotional intelligence. EQ is emotional quotient, the ability of the person to be aware and to manage one's feelings. Nako, friends, minsan kahit gaano kagwapo, kung mainitin ng ulo. For example, single people, sometimes, oh, gusto ko talaga siya, medyo bad boy image, I'm sorry. But if he is reactive to anything that you say, pag mag-open ka ng problema or meron kang concern about him that you're gonna say, and he's always reacting meaning the negative reaction, ha? And the discussions, some discussion can be simple discussion, but if discussions are being turned into arguments most of the time, and this person, if he's in a bad mood, ay, hindi natin siya dapat galawin, nasa bad mood siya. He gets cranky, moody, anxious, and if this person have anger issues, do you know that that's already a red flag? And kung lahat na lang ay pinagseselosan niya, he gets jealous and less forgiving, na parang lagi nilang may mali sa lahat ng kausap mo, sa lahat ng kachat mo, then it might be signs of a person who lacks emotional stability. And why is emotional stability very important in a marriage or very important in families, parents? Check din sa atin yan. If we are emotionally stable, we can raise kids who have good EQ. Pero kung lagi tayong nagme-make excuses for For example, okay lang yan, intindihin mo na yung tatay mo kasi masakit lang talaga yung pakiramdam niya. Masama lang pakiramdam niya. Mainit lang talaga yung ulo niya. But do we always make excuses for our partner, but our kids are already being affected by their temper? No, we don't make excuses because we're all adults anyway. And if the kids are already becoming affected because the parents lack the emotional stability needed, and then it can cause actually more problems later on. Parents, if you're in a marriage and your spouse is emotionally unstable, chances are it will affect everyone. The family, the children, the reaction of children is actually the emotional barometer of the family. Indicator yan. Kaya minsan sabihin natin, naku yung anak ko anxious, naku yung anak ko nagpa-panic attack, naku yung anak ko depressed, or talagang ayaw niya makipag-usap. You might want to check also the emotional stability of your spouse and yourself. Critical kasi yan kasi baka mismo ayaw nating harapin na tayo mismo we have a concern with our emotion and we are just allowing it to happen but not addressing the issue. So, check in your family. How's the emotional tone? How's the emotional climate? Mabigat ba? Is most of the people cranky? Do you want to get out of your house most of the time? Is your partner jealous and less forgiving? Lagi na lang ba kayong may takot na baka magalit? May takot na baka mainis? Or lagi na lang may inis at konsumisyon na nangyayari? Friends, check because these are not helpful to have to have healthy to have healthy relationships. So, what is that common emotional tone in your home? Check it out. It might be stemming out, not in the home, but in the people, in the emotional stability of the partners, especially the parents. Sana naintindihan niyo to na napakalalim ng hugot na yan. And then lastly, are you still with me, friends? Wala akong nakikita nagko-comment doon. So I'm checking your comments. Are you still with me? Okay. The last, number 5. Belief that the relationship that okay, the first one I said is kindness, loyalty, and understanding. The second is similarity and common ground, similarity of the couple. The third, conscientiousness. The fourth, emotional stability. And the fifth, belief that relationships take work. Again, belief that relationship takes work. Okay, friends, do you believe that relationships are easy or relationships are hard? Ano ang paniniwala nyo? Madali lang naman mag-asawa eh. Madali lang naman magkarelasyon. Is it easy or hard for you? Can you put that there in the comment? What is it your belief? What's operating in your head? Do you believe that married life is easy or married life is hard? Because if you believe that married life is easy and then it's easy to take for granted everything like problems, may problema na hindi pa rin hinaharap, parang okay lang yan, chill lang yan, chill lang, or you succumb to toxic positivity that hey, kaya yan, or you just do not confront the issue. But friends, thank you. Most of you, Jocelyn, Bingkay, May, Eileen, and Cabs, you're all saying here that it's hard and it's good. Oy, it's alignay. It's hard. Yes, it's hard. Why do I need to say it? Because problems happen. And each relationship has a different pace and phase. I'll repeat, problems happen kahit na nasang stage tayo. And relationships, marriage has a different phase, anong stage or season, at pace, bilis. Meron mabilis makaresolve ng problema, meron naman isang dekada na hindi pa rin tapos. So, where are you here? It's not easy to make a relationship work. I'll repeat that. And you can put that there at the comment. It's not easy. It's not easy to make a relationship work. But you know what? It's possible to make a relationship work. Can you say it with me? It's possible to make a relationship work. Can you put that in the comment? It's possible to make a relationship work no matter how hard, no matter what struggle, no matter what challenges, no matter what concerns or conflicts that may have. If you have that belief, naniniwala kayo, pareho, if you are parents, kung kayo ay naniniwala that we can make the family relationship work and then you can make it work. Right? Kasi yung mga tao na ayaw ng, this is a common question that I get. Um, Doc, but my partner, he would not cooperate with me. They don't want to work on the relationship anymore. Yun na nga. Ayaw na nung isa. Wala na tayong magagawa doon. You can only just try and try. But then the rest, hindi. So, it's right to say that both, you can only make a marriage work, can only make a relationship work if both of you would like to work on it and both of you believe that it's not easy, so we need to work on it. So, I'll give you the last point. So, here, the belief that you make the relationship work, you always have to check the intention. The first part, intention. Ano ba yung intention niya talaga? Di ba, pag nagliligawan, may intention ba siya sa akin? That's a thing that we hear. Uh, yes, but we need to understand that intention is actually not the intention the pakitang tao, but the intention is that conscious drive of the person to make the relationship work. And una, what's the intention? Eh baka naman walang intention, di ba? We've heard of that. Baka naman walang intention. So you cannot expect because there's no intention. Pwede rin naman may intention but there's no decision. I'll repeat that. Pwedeng may intention, lip service lang, sinabi lang, but there's no decision. Meaning, hindi niya sinama sa programming niya, hindi niya sinama sa buhay niya ikaw. Hindi niya sinama to work on the relationship. So, yes, okay, I love you. Yes, madaling mag-I love you, madaling mag-propose, madaling magpakasal. The intention is there, but the action, it's lacking. Because the decision, there is no conscious decision and then there's no conscious effort translated into action. Are you with me? Hindi mo makita sa gawa. Intention is like it's in the mind. Decision, it's in the heart. Even if nahihirapan ako, I would decide to stick to it. So some mind is the intention. Decision is the mind, the power of the mind and the power of the emotions. And the action is your behavior. I'm doing something to work on the relationship because I know it's hard. I know that pandemic can happen. I know endemic can happen. Have you encountered friends relationship crisis? Have you entered relationship crisis? I think next week it would be nice to talk about conflicts. Ulitin ko yung topic na yun. Dati ko nang ginawa yan, but I have to repeat that. Have you encountered conflict in a relationship? Yes or no? I'll wait for your answer. Yes, if you've encountered conflict in a relationship, it's hard to encounter conflict in a relationship if the other person is not intentional on working on it. No decision has been made. Walang decision na nangyari. Kailangan desisyonan. Kailangan gawa ng paraan. And no action happened. And you know the result? Ordinary conflict becomes crisis. We don't want to be in a crisis situation because regular conflicts are normal. They're part of why relationships need hard work. But crisis situation, hindi yan normal. Kasi ibig sabihin, may mga bagay sa daily life, sa daily encounters, yung intensyon nandun, yung decision, okay, sige, ay gawa natin ng paraan. That's a decision there. And then yung paraan na ginawa, and then you work on through the action, may mga conflict na ang conflict pag ginawa ng intention, ng decision, ng action, it will resolve. But if no intention, no decision, and no action has been made, it becomes a crisis situation. So people would say, it's infidelity. It's infidelity is that is that a conflict or that's a crisis? That's a crisis already because there's little bits and pieces of issues to begin with that the couple or the person did not work on. Hiwalayan, is that separating from each other? Is that just a mere conflict? Mag, sa unang away ba, kung anong ulam, kung tilapia or bangus, maghihiwalay na ba kayo? Di ba hindi? Mag-intention muna kayo na ayusin natin, pag-usapan natin, i-align natin yung menu. And then the decision na, okay, sige, ako na yung magti-take charge nito, I will do it, and then you would act on it, di ba? So, you don't necessarily, you don't, the mere conflict, mere discussions are not crisis because it would take intention, decision, and action to make it work. And it has to have the number five that you have to believe, both of you, that relationships take work. Uulitin ko. Relationships take work. Lots of work. Can you put that in the comment section, friends? For those of you who are here, relationships take work. Relationships take work. Pag nahihirapan tayo, oh my God, Lord, please help me work on this relationship. Pag hindi na natin maisip kung ano mangyayari, okay, let me pause for a while because relationship takes work. Okay, what are my thoughts? I'll just, so aside from those five that I mentioned, that healthy qualities of relationship: kindness, loyalty, and understanding. Similarity, number two. And number three is conscientiousness. Number four, emotional stability, kung ano yung hugot ng tao. And number five, belief that relationships take work. And if the relationship take work, there should be intention, there should be decision, and there should be action. But I would like my own reflection while doing this. I just would like to share this with you. In any relationship, it has to have that level. What is important for me? This pandemic, this has been tested. We need vulnerability. I love Brene Brown. If you're familiar with Dr. Brene Brown, you can check her on Spotify when she talks about vulnerability. And vulnerability is actually an act of humility. Vulnerability, it's actually an act of humility. Vulnerability is that in your relationship with someone, maybe it's not your romantic relationship, but could be a relationship with a significant other, with your best friend, there should be vulnerability. Yung openness mo na aminin na nasaktan ako, nahihirapan ako, nag-struggle ako, or even sabihin na nahihiya ako sa'yo kasi hindi kita pinahalagahan. That's being vulnerable. That's being humble to acknowledge ourselves. Humble to acknowledge where we are. Humble humility to identify our state. And if there's vulnerability in the relationship, and then wala nang taguan. Hindi na to taguan ng feelings because vulnerability is being real, being you, without being judged, without us judging the other. Friends, you have to check what's the level of vulnerability you have with your spouse, with your significant other, because it's very crucial to make a relationship work. And if there is vulnerability in the relationship, it's easier to make it work through this pandemic. Kasi this pandemic, dito natin masusubukan how vulnerable you are. Because if most of the time you are together, most of the time you cling onto each other, dyan yung makikita, kilala ko ba talaga siya? Is he really opening up to me? Or tayo yung nagsi-second guess? Ba't parang hindi ko alam itong nangyayari sa asawa ko? Ba't parang hindi naman niya kinikwento? Ba't parang nasaktan na niya ako tas hindi pa niya na-recognize? Or mag-iintay ka ba na i-recognize niya? Or you'll be vulnerable. Friends, explore what vulnerability is in your relationship and see how it can work, because vulnerability leads to humility. And if we are humble enough, another point that I'll share. So for me, my main point in making the relationship work needs to have vulnerability and it needs to have flexibility. I always share with you here in Coffee Break what works before, maybe in our lives or in the pre-pandemic, and even in our marriage pre-pandemic, may not work now. 'Di ba? Hindi lagi na lang sa buhay na one size fits all. Hindi kung ano yung dati, yun pa rin ngayon, because we've changed. People change. We are in a different phase and we are in a different pace. So, you have to check Is this thing working now? So we have to be flexible. Rigidity can actually ruin or break more relationship. Ayaw magbago, ayaw makinig, ayaw gumawa ng bagong innovations in the relationship. Vulnerability is not bad. It's not bad. It's actually being human and being real and being true to ourselves. So because in order for us to be flexible, there's supposed to be a degree of vulnerability. Why? Because the last phase na hindi ko napapansin. Because this is something that I would like you to mince. Accountability. Alam niyo kung bakit minsan ang hirap i-work on ang relationship, walang accountability sa isa't isa. Yung kung ano na lang maisip ni husband, yun na lang gagawin niya. Or si wives, masyado na lang na take for granted din yung relasyon kasi masyadong busy sa trabaho or sa mga bata. So here, you have to be accountable. And I believe, I am a woman who believes how the Lord bless marriages. We have to be accountable also to the giver of the marriage. If we are accountable to each other as a couple and our marriage is accountable to God, hindi ba meron tayong sense of responsibility to take care of it? Di ba kahit anong mangyari, gagawa natin ng paraan? Kasi we have that sense of stewardship and sense of accountability na, hey, this is my marriage, this is a gift, and I will make it flourish despite difficulties. Pero friends, alam nyo, now, accountability is such a big word. People do not want to be accountable. Ang daling makipaghiwalay. Ang daling iwanan. Ang daling mang-zine zone. Ang daling mag-ghosting. It's so easy. But I would like you to explore that. What's the role of vulnerability? How does flexibility play in my relationship? And how can I be more accountable to God and to my partner? That's how we pandemic proof. Because if our relationship can be stronger during the pandemic, mind you, sa dami ng pinagdaanan natin this year, and last year, sa dami ng pinagdaanan natin, it's going to be easier for us to strengthen it now because we're going to be ready for the post-pandemic life and beyond. And that's what we need to do to work on it to make it grow and flourish. We just don't get stuck. We just don't make it work. We have to make it work because marriage matters, our relationships matter, our family lives matter. And that's what Coffee Break is for, friends. I am here to walk you through, to converse with you, real life topics on relationship, family life, well being, and faith. So, friends, I hope that you've learned something. I would like you to share with me what's your takeaway for today. If there's one phrase that you will cling on to and will make it your mantra for the week, please put that in the comment section. What is it that you learned? I learned today that I can pandemic proof my relationship by doing this, by holding on to this, by believing that blah blah. Can you put that in the comment section? And what I would like you to do is do not forget you can join me in this promo that I'm doing. If you would check my Facebook page, I have this promo to get free tickets for the Jewels Conference that I will be inviting you. Please, women, please, ladies, please, moms, sisters, please take part in the Jewels Conference. I'm so excited to be part of this awesome event by the Light of Jesus community. By meaning the feast community, this Jewels Conference is open for women at all ages. We hope I see you there, and you can, if you would like to join me on the free tickets, please check out my post regarding Jewels Conference at the top of this Michelle Arignay page in Facebook. And lastly, please, 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 if you can, support the mission that I do here in Coffee Break by sending stars. Stars are the digital gifts that you send. If you will see there in your comment section, you can send stars so they are converted to they are digital gifts converted to monetary means so I can continue blessing you. I continue paying for the tech and paying for the backroom resources that I need to spend in doing this live stream. So much thanks. And if you are blessed with this episode, please share this to your family, share this to your loved ones, talk about it with your spouse. so that we can make our relationships more pandemic proof. I hope that this has helped you. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you join me again next week. If you have other topics in mind that you would like us to sit down with and coffee over, please put that in the comment section. I will see you again. God bless everybody. Thank you.